Yes, hi. This is the Worldview from an Outcast podcast, and I just want to do a podcast right now. It's just New Year's Day beginning a couple moments ago, and I am in such an elated point of view, feeling on top of the world or the universe or whatever. I just feel so enlightened and elated and heightened, although I did drink a little bit of alcoholic beverage, not too much, but I doubt that's the reason why. It personal information. It doesn't really affect me much, alcohol, but just the camaraderie of friends, and I will not mention any names. And I just love my people, and I hope everyone can find their way to progressing in the new year in ways they have never before imagined that will bring them success and happiness and friendship and love. And I know these are key words you may hear a lot, but it's really what the world is all about. If you can find that. See, I am in my little nook in the world in my own apartment here in a house in upstate New York, and that's as vague and specific as I'm going to get. So I don't know what's going. I know there's bombs being. I know people are being killed and lives are being housed. Like countries are being ruined, and it's no laughing matter across the seas as we speak. And I wish I would be able to find a way to put, a stop to that, because it's needless suffering, and I can't imagine the trauma, pain, crisis feeling of what it's like to be in a war-torn, in a country going through war. And I just hope people will set aside their differences and talk it out, because it does work. There is no reason for war. I mean, you can say it's territorial disputes, or it's just to kill or be killed, or you have to fight and defend yourself, defend your country. But personally, I believe wars are started from misunderstandings, from good intentions, that is just taken the wrong way, misunderstood, maybe most likely due, probably most of the times due to language barriers or just culture differences, that people, I believe, always have good intentions, and it's misunderstood. And if you could just get down to the root of the problem, like how it began, like talk out what was the what was the target, what was the trigger point of what made you try to turn on each other, when I bet the leaders of the countries that are fighting used to be friends, and something happened. What happened? Like pinpoint it. You have to tell your intentions toward the person you're fighting with, so you don't have to fight anymore. And you will learn. A little bit of humility goes a long way in just admitting how you feel, not covering up, your feelings of your intentions toward the situation, and just being honest, sitting down and talking about the issue instead of just killing everybody. What good does that do? Think about it. So that's my take on that. And, because when if you're all right, if I was a leader of a country right now and I wanted to protect my people of within my borders of my so-called country, which are man-made borders. So when we were all put on this planet, there were no borders. I don't know how we were made or where humans came from. I'm not saying I do. But, or how we were here with differences that are so different but yet so solid in our beliefs within groups that we learn that there are others and there is more to life than us, our own little group, and we learn and we branch out and we find other differences, beliefs, ways of doing things. And that's basically what it is. We just have different ways of doing things. And if we don't understand each other, we want to fight and protect our way. And we want to win. And we want to do our things our way. We want to win every time. But maybe a little bit of compromise will make less bloodshed and less suffering and misunderstanding that leads to wars. That if we just try to maybe give a little kindness, you hear, you do kindness to your neighbors, the people who you see daily, day to day. You want to be nice. You want to be well liked. Well, the leaders of the countries, I believe also, especially if they're fighting, should drop their swords and their shields and just talk person to person. That's what I'm wishing for. No one wants to see people being needlessly hurt, innocent children, women, wives, husbands going to war. And it's just like, oh, let's fight. Do you like fighting? Is that the reason? Do you like risking your lives? Maybe I don't get it. Maybe there's something in that. Maybe people like just being aggressive and fighting, or like there's honor in protecting your country and fighting for your culture and your country and your beliefs. But, there is also another way, which is trying, understanding that there are differences in viewpoints around the world. And we all live here together, so learning about other cultures, listening to the people from other countries, and just trying to share and benefit from our differences instead of trying to cancel each other out would be very beneficial for all of us. Like I say, we were in the Olympics together. All the countries have their entries and their players that do the sports. We have camaraderie in that. We get along. There's a common goal. And, we work accordingly to the plan, which is laid out by the representatives of each country. And also, United Nations is a good league of nations. And, it's trying to bring peace and trying to feed the hungry and house the homeless around the world. But so when there's a threat, they turn into allies or enemies. But do we need to be enemies when we're all living on one sacred planet, one rock in the sky, one ball spinning endlessly around the sun? Or can we just relax, let go of our ever relentless ego to prove we are right? Is that so important? So, thank you for listening to my New Year's Day early morning rant about peace on earth, and helping people who are in need. And also, I was going to mention the International Space Station is also a place where people of different nationalities get along. And I think, people try, we're trying, I'm trying. So I will say no more. Happy New Year's. Thank you for listening to the World View from an Outcast podcast with yours truly, Summer Austin.